Alrighty, guys, I cannot believe October's almost over. Today we did pumpkins, and I'm like, I am not ready for Halloween to be here and gone. Cannot believe it's almost November. But welcome to October Leaders Roundtable meeting. Thank you guys for joining me live. I am going to do a recorded part and then a non-recorded part. The first thing I want to talk to y'all about as leaders is World Tour. Okay. We have World Tour that is open registration. And everyone that is here live, I think Abby's never been to one because she's brand new, but World Tour is just like a mini SFR. It is a time to come together, um, see home office, it's really a refresh on your business. And I think that's not necessarily the theme, but it's kind of what they're going towards for World Tour this year. It's a good reset. Okay. It's after the new year. It's when people it's in February. It's when people have the winter blues, all the things. And it's just a good time to get together in person. Obviously, we do a lot online. We are not all local to each other. But if there is ever an opportunity to go to something in person, you will always hear me and you will always hear the star directors and directors in our group tell you to go to the event. Go to the event, okay? It's fun, it's invigorating, it reminds you of why you're doing it. It's a good time to be had. This year, it is a little bit more expensive. But the kit comes with 3 full-size warmers that you can do with what you want. So you can keep them, you can resell them within compliance. And there's other things in our kit too. So if you can make it, I want you to try your best to go. I will definitely be in Raleigh. I probably am going to Boston. And I may be trying to go to one other. I would love to see y'all as leaders share that you're signed up in your groups, whether it be Simply Grace and Grit or your SD's groups, or all of them, whatever you want to do. But I would love, as leaders, I would love to see y'all share that you're signed up and where you're going, because we want, as leaders, we're a broad spectrum. Okay. So a lot of times, especially in direct sales, leaders will be very laser focused on just their downline. I just care about my downline. I just care about what benefits me. And when you broaden that and you have a broader spectrum on your view in Cincy and you're looking to help others, it's going to bless you. Okay. That's just how I believe life works in general. That's my opinion. So if you are going and you don't know someone, or maybe you know someone who is going to a location that someone else is, and they're going to be nervous to go by themselves. No one wants to go to an event by themselves. So if we can not only encourage our teammates to go, but to assure them that once we know that they're going, that we will somehow, between me, Katrina, and Nikki, I promise you, we know someone that will be at that location, and we will make sure that they have someone to sit with. And this goes for all of y'all too. Because you don't want to go alone. Totally get it. So sign up if you can, share that you're going, um, and then encourage your teammates to go as well. Okay. Um, World Tour is one of my favorites just because it's short and sweet, and it gives me what I need in my business, and it's one of my first aha moments. So I fully believe in going. So just want to talk about that for a little bit. So real quick, I wanted to talk to y'all tonight about teaching them to fish. Okay. So as leaders, y'all may have heard the analogy of the fisherman analogy. It says, give a person a fish and you feed them for a day, teach them how to fish and you feed them for a lifetime. Okay. And that lesson, that analogy goes to our business too. Okay. So if we are only answering questions that were asked, we're feeding them for the day. We're giving them that quick fish, that quick full stomach, so we can go about our day, right? But if we are teaching them how to find the answers that they're looking for, we're setting them up for success. We're setting them up for the long run. Okay. And so I want y'all to ask yourselves, and this is something I ask myself too, because when I'm doing any kind of training, half the time I'm talking to myself too. Let's just be real clear about that. But I want you to ask yourself, am I feeding or am I teaching? Okay. because we want to teach as leaders. We want to teach people how to do what we're doing, what others are doing, what we can do to be successful. Okay. So I want you to ask yourself with your teammates, with your downline, am I feeding or teaching? The problem that we have as leaders or as humans is that we want to just give them the fish, right? We want to be helpful. We think it's faster in the moment. We want to make sure that our teammates are happy with us. We think they'll get frustrated if we don't just give them the answer. But in the long run, it's gonna be worse for you. Okay. So teaching them to fish is going to create that dependence that we all need in our business, and it's not going to teach the growth that they need. So how often a way to kind of tell what kind of leader you're being, whether you're teaching or feeding, is how often do you find yourself answering the same question? Okay, more than once. Now, given us as leaders, we're going to answer a lot of the same questions. Okay, we know some of the questions that a new teammate is going to ask us. We know that when people come along, we know what they should be focusing on, and they're just like getting hit from every angle, right? I don't know if y'all, I'm sure you do remember when you first started, but I just remember thinking there is no way I'm going to learn all this. Like there's no way I'm going to remember how to open and close a party and do all the things. It's so much information. It's a lot coming at you at once, and a lot of people get very overwhelmed and they just want to give up. Okay. Um, but we need to, so when I say that you're asking a lot of the same, or you're answering a lot of the same questions, that's part of leadership. But if it's a specific question every time, especially from the same person, we need to shift, right? So if you have someone every week asking you, or every month even asking you, what's the warmer of the month? Okay, we've all, I think, been asked that question, and it's like, okay, we know how to teach them how to find where the warmer of the month is, right? But if we just send them a picture and say, "Oh my gosh, isn't it beautiful?" That's probably the quickest thing to do, right? And it gives them their answer, but they're going to come back again and ask you next month. Okay, what's this month's warmer of the month? Okay. So that's a sign that it's time to shift. And instead of just giving them the answer to that same question over and over, we need to teach them how to find it. So the shift from like a rescuer to like a coach. Okay. So old mindset of just feeding someone is going to be that they need me, right? We know they need us, but as leaders, we need to know that they're capable and show them how to find it, okay? Because everyone's capable of finding the answers. We as leaders, lead consultant and above, don't have any special information that any other consultant doesn't have, okay? We know how to find the answers. We may have resources that from groups that we're in, consultant-led groups, and maybe that's where you need to teach them to go if you're finding something helpful. But as leaders and as consultants, we all get the same information at the same time. Okay, the official communication, that's going to be from our news tab on our workstation. So I have an example of, instead of here's the answer, we can say something like, that's a great question. Have you checked the workstation? Or have you looked at the Scentsy Wax FAQ for it yet? Or have you looked at the news tab? Okay. Asking them with a question is usually the way to go to say, okay, well, what have you tried so far? Right. So like I said, where we fish in Scentsy is going to be obviously our workstation. News tab is the big one, and really now there's no excuse that anything that we don't know, we can't find, or we don't get alerted, because the news tab, if you're in your Scentsy Connect app and you're logged in, it's going to send you alert every single time there's a news article now. So there's really no excuse not to know that there's something new coming out, because it's an alert on your phone, which we've asked them for years. The training center on the workstation is a huge resource. That's something that we've not always had. Team pages, obviously, recorded trainings, YouTube, Scentsy Success resources, and then we have obviously Simply Grace and Grit. We have Butterfly Kisses and Empowering Scents. We have Google Drives, we have boards, we have literally everything. Anything that you need is at your fingertips, okay? It you may have to find it. And here's the other thing, there's a chance you might not be able to find it because there is so much. And I totally get that. But I would much rather answer a question from someone who says, "Where can I find the answer to this?" instead of "What's the answer to this?" Right? Because we want to teach them how they can find it on their own. Because guess what? When they have their new teammate that comes along, guess where they're going to go for the questions that their teammates asking them? They're going to come to you because they know they're just going to get the answer instead of knowing how to find the answer and teaching that on the way, right? The trickle effect is huge in Scentsy. That's the goal. Ultimate goal is the trickle effect of what we teach, what we know we're teaching, and so on and so on. So when blah, 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 when I was saying things like asking questions back to people when they ask questions, so asking things like, "Where have you looked so far? What do you think this next step might be? Or would you like me to show you how to find it?" Okay. Um, and then in the result, that's going to be someone who's confident in their business. Because if someone isn't feeling confident in their business, they're not as likely to work their business. If they don't know what sets our wax apart from Walmart wax, and they believe that, then they're less likely to sell that wax, right? So wrapping it up, we want to empower those people to know that they know what they're doing. And that's going to be learned from teaching them, not just feeding them. So leaders who teach create duplication, like I said. Consultants who can find answers become future leaders. The people who know how to find the answers and not just know the answers are our future leaders. And that's our ultimate goal as a leader, is to build more leaders. And then you get your time back. It may be a little bit more time invested up front because you're teaching them how to do it, but in the long run, you're going to get your time back while your team is growing more confidently. So the challenge is for the next week, when someone asks you a question, to not answer the question with an answer. To not answer the question with an answer. Yeah, right away. Instead, I want you to guide them to where they can find it. And then the bonus is just to share an example in your leadership of how you taught someone to fish. So in our chat, if someone comes to you and asks you a question and you take the time to actually teach them how to do it or how to find it instead of just giving the information, I would love for y'all to share that with each other so we can see how we can all use that in our business. And I know that this is kind of a thing where it's like, well, yeah, we know how to do that, but if you're more aware of it, you'll probably realize how much you just spit off the answer because you want to be helpful and you want to be a wealth of knowledge to people. But really teaching them to go that extra step to find it themselves is what is going to help grow your business with a strong foundation. So, does anybody have any questions about that or have any examples that they've used here lately with people? I'm going to check out the chat.
I have one that Whitney has
Yeah.
personally used on me.
Oh,
Um, Look, not too long ago, I've been looking for something for forever and ever, and I was just scared to go clicking because I was scared I was just gonna
oh yeah.
mess something up. And Whitney's like, I'm like, okay, now I'm here. Where do I go? Like, I can't figure it out. And she's
This
like,
is the Katrina line, actually.
yeah. I was like, okay then. She said, oh, just click it. You're not gonna break it.
Mhm. That's a Katrina line, actually. But she was asking me, where can I find my downlines information? Where can I find it? And I was like, I promise you, go under reporting and you will not break it. Just go click around and you will find what you're looking for. You can't break it. Promise.
I
And again,
literally did that the first day that I
yeah,
was a consultant. I was like, what's this for? What's this do? You can't break it. You can click
yeah.
on everything. And that was before we got like the upgrade. Like our workstation used to look completely different. So
Mhm.
you just click on everything.
I just read text the wrong way. So I was like, oh my goodness, I just made her mad.
No, no, not at all. That's never the intention. I know Abby is a brand new leader. She just promoted to lead and she could possibly double promote to star consultant. So I'm trying to teach her how to find the answers on her own. And she's got to figure it out just like we all did. We can't We're not going to have someone come sit beside us and click through the workstation. That's not duplicatable on our part, right? So we want to make sure that we're teaching everybody how to find the things. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.